enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts, just beware of the thorns.
Okay. Alright everybody, been telling you I've been wanting to do this reaction to this Jefferson City Correctional Center, and so I'm going to do it today. And when Missouri State Penitentiary closed in 2004, they moved everybody to the new prison, JCCC, and it's supposed to be state of the art, but they say that every time they build a new one. And so this is going to be a virtual tour of it. It's supposed to be. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what they got too. And some people call it the baby walls, but there's no walls around it. It's all fence. So let's go.
Welcome to the Jefferson City Correctional Center, a 42-acre prison complex located in the heart of the great state of Missouri. Commonly referred to as JCCC, or JCCC, this maximum security facility opened on September 14th of 2004. Upon the closing of the Missouri State Penitentiary, offenders were relocated to the state-of-the-art facility with a focus on public safety, rehabilitation, as well as the safety and security of staff.
It says rehabilitation. I've never seen, of course I've never been here, so I don't know. But in all the max prisons I've been in, like South Central Correctional Center, Farmington, all those, they never really had rehabilitation. Now Farmington had a college until they closed the Pell Grant, but stopped the Pell Grant. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny they're talking about rehabilitation. I could be wrong about this one, maybe they do, but I think rehabilitation in the Missouri Department of Corrections is a joke unless you're in a real low camp, and sometimes they have some things.
Offenders and the public. The Jefferson City Correctional Center houses approximately 1,900 offenders with a staff of 550 employees and 100 volunteers. Let's take a walk through the facility and see what it's all about. Upon entry into the facility, you enter the multi-purpose building. This building contains 2 visiting rooms where approved friends and family of offenders may have contact or non-contact visits each weekend depending upon the current status of the offender. A parole hearing room and multi-purpose rooms are also located in this building.
That's usually the way it is. Most of them, the parole hearing room is right next to the visiting room. But they're making this out like this visiting is a great thing, and it is. It's good for people to be able to see their loved ones on the outside, or the loved ones on the outside see their incarcerated loved ones. But, and I don't know if it still is or not, but during this last couple of years, they haven't been having visits. I think they're just now starting to open them back up. But just imagine for 2 years not being able to see your loved one in prison.
The interior of the Jefferson City Correctional Center is divided into A and B side. Entering the facility's A side, you are immediately greeted with the staff barbershop, where haircuts and shoe shines are provided to staff at no cost to the employee and helps offender barbers maintain their skills. A large central
help them maintain their skills. Most of them's got to learn how to cut hair while they're in prison. You know, there's some that was barbers on the streets and came in and they're real good barbers, and but some of them is average, you know, and they just learn. They have other barbers teach them and stuff.
Services building is located in the center of the institution, dividing A side from B side. The Central Services building contains a medical department, education department, chapel, offender canteen, clothing issue, offender property, recreation department, dining halls and kitchen, Braille production center.
mean, it looks like they got a lot of good stuff there, but it also looks like it's kind of messy. Like they haven't. I mean, South Central Correctional Center was in more tidy than that was.
And information systems, all accessible from the A-side Boulevard. The medical department contains a 29-bed infirmary, 24-hour medical staff, dental services, x-ray, and optometrist. Yet,
You know, you hear about this medical, and you think, oh, they're getting the best, you know. And it's true that they do get, they don't have to pay for the medical treatment they get and stuff. The state pays for it. But it's not as good as you think it is.
the education department offers many services and programs, such as a combined leisure and law library, high-set classes, Hannibal LaGrange University, Restorative Justice, and Jefftown Productions. Many of the institution's rehabilitative groups meet here as well, such as 4-H, Alcoholics Anonymous, and Positive Mental Attitude.
Positive mental attitude and those programs. That's the first I heard of 4-H, but positive mental attitude, that's just a few-week program. It's not rehabilitating them. And it's just the Jefftown that they talked about a little bit earlier, that started at Missouri State Penitentiary. It's like their own TV thing for inside the prison, you know, and who knows, maybe nowadays they're sending some of it on the outside, but it's called Jefftown. And it was there when I got there in '88.
Restorative Justice focuses on helping offenders accept responsibility for past criminal actions and understand the impact of those crimes on the victims, with an emphasis of preventing future victimization.
Yeah. They told me I had to take that program, and it's not restorative justice. I mean, it's a part of the restorative justice, but one of the programs I took in restorative justice, the facilitator asked the class, we failed one day because the facilitator asked the class, what would you do if you walked in your house and one of your loved ones, your sister, your mom, your daughter, whatever, was being violated? Well, everybody said they would try to stop it. He said we all gave the wrong answer, and that the answer was we were supposed to call the cops and let the cops handle it. I disagree with that, and if they call that rehabilitation, they can go stick it where the sun don't shine.
Restorative Justice also manages the garden, where offender volunteers grow and export approximately 6,000 pounds of produce annually to local food banks.
The gardens they have, they do go to food banks and food pantries and stuff like that. The food that the people incarcerated don't steal anyway, because a lot of people are taking onions and different things out of the garden, you know.
Jefftown Productions is the institution's closed-circuit broadcast network and video production studio, having been established in 1986. Jefftown broadcasts 5 channels, providing institutional information as well as educational and entertainment-based content. Jefftown produces various videos for the Department of Corrections, offender population, and outside entities.
Oh wow, they do produce for outside the prison. When I was there, they didn't do that. It was just, they ran the 2 movie channels that the prison had, and then they had their own little thing where they record boxing, because MSP had a boxing ring and you could box in it and stuff, and they'd film those and show them on the TV, and they'd give you little news things, what's going on in the prison and stuff, but and I don't think they had 5 channels like they're saying this does. So this seems like it's coming a long ways.
Chapel services offer religious programming for a variety of faith groups, facilitated by approximately 50 volunteers and overseen by the institutional chaplain. Over 1,000 religious services are conducted each year through the institution's chapel. The Offender Canteen, Clothing Issue, Offender Property, Braille Production Center, and Information Systems are all located in the main corridor. General population offenders may purchase snack and food items, basic appliances, hygiene products, and additional clothing through the offender canteen. Clothing issue provides linens and standard clothing items to each offender. The Burrell Production Center and Information Systems are skilled job sites staffed by offenders and supervised by civilian employees. The Recreation Department includes 2 full-size indoor basketball courts, 2 outdoor softball fields, 2 outdoor volleyball courts, handball courts, horseshoe pits, bocce ball lanes, multiple outdoor...
It's kind of interesting that they have a horseshoe pit. You can see up on where Paul's here, you can see up on the hill, that's Algoa. Them buildings you see up there, that's Algoa. And they have horseshoe pits too. But when I was in Algoa, I could look down and see this prison. But back to what I was talking about, it's interesting that they got horseshoe pits in a max prison because all the other ones that I know of don't. Like South Central Correctional Center doesn't. You know, they took them out because people was taking the horseshoes and using them as weapons. And I've seen some bad stuff happen with them.
Outdoor basketball courts, including one in front of each general population housing unit, as well as weightlifting and cardio equipment. Food service maintains 4 serving lines and dining rooms, all operating at the same time to feed staff and general population offenders 3 times daily. Meals are provided to staff at no cost to them and may be eaten in the staff dining room or taken back to their work area.
Yeah, it's provided free cost for them because it's not really anything. I mean, it's not as good as they're making it out to be. Now the pizzas are like the school pizzas that are served in the school, but the rest of it is worse than school. I'm telling you. Other people will tell you too. And they're supposed to provide 2,000 calories a day, and that's if you eat every single thing on all 3 plates. You'll lose weight unless you're getting money in for commissary.
Missouri Vocational Enterprises employs over 300 offenders in skilled positions, offering offenders the opportunity to develop a skill in trades such as woodworking, sewing, and metalwork.
This is yeah, it does teach them. All the prisons have MVE, Missouri Vocational Enterprises. And it does teach them like woodworking and different things. I think Lincoln has woodworking where they build furniture and stuff. But really, these guys only get paid 60 to like 90 cents an hour. And these guys are taking the stuff that people make and they're making a killing off of it. I mean, can't say I blame them. I'm just saying that this is how it is. It's messed up. It's really a way for them to make money instead of them to teach the prisoners how to do something. Although it is a good thing that they're teaching them how to do that, but that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to make money off of them.
These offenders are offered the option of registering with the Department of Labor for a certification in their specified field. MVE manufactures staff and offender clothing, furniture, and license plates, among other items. A-side is all...
These license plates. They used to have, it's called a tag plant at the walls, Missouri State Penitentiary. And it's where they made license plates. It's where also a lot of weapons came out of. And I'm kind of wondering if I doubt if it is there because seems to be more of a tight security prison than the walls was. But that's where, at the walls, that's where they got their metal at.
Also where the general population housing units 1 through 4 are located. Each housing unit contains 288 beds and 144 cells, divided between 4 wings. Each unit also contains an isolated control center for custody staff, as well as a classification office. Housing Unit 1, the Enhanced Care Unit, is unique in that it is set up for those who are elderly or have chronic care needs. The B side of the facility encompasses housing units 5 through 8 and has access to the Central Services Building similar to that of A side. Housing Unit 5 is the institution's programming house that contains the intensive therapeutic community, re-entry, puppies for parole, and the R&O intake.
It's an honor house. That's what they call it in Lincoln. It's basically an honor house. Only the those in the honor house can be part of the Puppies for Parole. And speaking of which, that is one program that I'm all for in the prison. The Puppies for Parole. I've seen prisoners that were cold-hearted, that never smiled, that were down, depressed. I've seen them smile after they got a dog that they had trained. And it's not only, they're not only helping the animals that's brought in from the shelters. Like in South Central Correctional Center, they bring them in from Texas County shelter. But it's also very helpful to the those incarcerated and part of that program. You guys can look it up on Facebook, Puppies for Parole. I'm all for it, 100%. And just to let you know that, so that the DOC don't get full credit for it, it was a rec officer that started this program at South Central Correctional Center in Lincoln. And I mean, now I think it's all over all the prisons. But it's it got started by somebody who worked in recreation.
The Intensive Therapeutic Community is a multifaceted, long-term substance abuse program designed for offenders using methods that break sharply from traditional programs. Reentry is a program that partners with agencies to provide offenders with counseling and information for job seeking, resume creation, and home planning to ease their transition back to the community. Puppies for Parole is partnered with the Missouri Humane Society to help offenders train and prepare dogs for adoption and/or service. Housing Unit 6 is divided between the Protective Custody Unit, Secure Social Rehabilitation Unit, as well as administrative segregation. Housing Units 7 and 8 are administrative segregation units. The laundry services the entire institution.
Administrative segregation, that just means the hole. You know, it's what's commonly referred to as the hole. And that's people where you go for when you get in trouble. You know, they put you down there. The PC is protective custody.
Ensuring offenders' clothing and linens are laundered weekly, as well as linens from all other areas of the institution. The perimeter of the institution is protected by state-of-the-art security technologies, including several high-security fences, which include a lethal fence for public safety. Thanks for tagging along with us on our tour. We hope we've provided you with valuable insight to the operation.
Yeah, valuable insight. But, as you can tell, I don't really have a lot of faith in their programs or anything, or I ain't got a lot of good to say about the Department of Corrections. I don't think they pay their officers enough. They don't pay anybody enough, really, any of their staff enough. But that is what it is, I guess. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. We got to see what it looks like and everything. And I'll see you next time. Bye.